There we go. It's recording.
Cool. Okay.
Nayeli.
So
How
yes.
do you go by Nayeli?
No, I don't. Actually, I go by Alex. My middle name's Alejandra. So once I hit high school and I moved away from North Carolina, I kind of used that opportunity to reinvent myself in a sense. You know, growing up in North Carolina, there's not that many people of color, especially where I lived. So it was just the first day of school was always a struggle for me because my last name starts with an A. It's Anides, so I was at the top of the list. And so teachers would always butcher my name. So I just hated that first day of school. Six different classes, like six different teachers, all of them just like messing up my name. So I was like, you know what? When I get
What
to California, I'm going by Alex.
what did they call you? How
Oh
did
my
they
God,
butcher your name?
I've heard some really weird things. Like someone called me yellow once. I'm like, I don't know how you get yellow out of Nayeli, but sure. I've gotten like Nayoli. So then someone called me Nayoli Ravioli. Someone called me Nene. It was just like, I can't do this. I was over it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Fun
Uh
times.
no, I mean no, but obviously yeah, I mean you're right cuz I mean you were what in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Uh I mean yeah, I mean most of my stand up all of my material basically comes from just the South. The ignorance.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, but also in retrospect, like I was also pretty ignorant. Like even though I wasn't, I guess I realized how ignorant I was when I moved to California and I realized just how much diversity there is in the world. And I just let North Carolina like get a hold of me before I could get a hold of it in my own identity. Like I let North Carolina like identify me before I could do it. But then again, I was in a very impressionable age. So I try not to be too hard on myself.
Nah, yeah, I mean, and that's not even per se ignorance. It's just where you were, like your surroundings, right? Your community tells you, hey, you are one of very few, and this is kind of your spot, right? Like we don't know how to say your name. We don't know about, about your background. We don't know about anything, and you just get used to that.
Exactly. Yes, it's exactly what it is.
Um, yeah. Before I go any deeper into that, do you want to introduce yourself really quick for the audience?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So my name's Nayeli Anides, but I go by Alex. I currently live in Hollywood and Los Angeles. I'm a content partnership strategist on an app. Love what I do. I've worked with a few celebs, influencers, done some social media marketing. And yeah, I'm Mexican American, I guess you could say. I was born in Mexico. And yeah, it's basically me in a nutshell.
Well, damn, I want to ask you a couple of things. Well, really quick, who's the most famous person that you've actually met and hung out with, or at least had a chit chat with?
So I used to work on Diplo's social media team and also Major Lazer. I've worked with Kuko, who is a pretty well known Mexican American like indie artist. I've worked with Mo, a lot of EDM DJs, but I would say the biggest person's probably Diplo. And I got to go to Coachella a few times for free, which was cool.
Wait, you got to go to Coachella for free?
Oh yeah, multiple times. I had to sneak in for like 5 years before I started going for free.
Hang on, can you sneak me in?
I don't know anymore. I don't know the ins and outs, but like before, the way that you would have to do it is that Coachella is surrounded by a lot of farms. So you would have to
Mm.
sneak into the people's farms and kind of like army crawl your way to the festival and then pay somebody that's like roaming around in a golf cart to drive you in.
Well, I mean, I'm brown. I could just be like, hey, I'm picking the fields or something, right?
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, one time we did meet some Mexicans on the way, and I kind of felt like really like weird because they were like leading us through the barns. I swear, they're like, we know how to do it, follow us. And so we followed them to the campgrounds. And then at the end, the guy that we found that was going to drive us in was like, okay, I'll take you two girls, but not the guys. And so we left them, and it was really sad.
Wait, were the guys actually like working, or were they just helping you?
No, they were trying to sneak into the festival too. So they were like army crawling through the barn with all the horses and the chickens and
Wait, and
all
they
the
took
mud.
they took the girls, but they left the guys behind.
Yes, exactly. So when we were army crawling through the barn, we met these two Mexican guys, and they were like, "Hey, we're trying to sneak into the festival. We know the way." And so we hung out with them for like 2 hours, like going through the fields, and then we finally come across like the campgrounds, and we see a security guard on a golf cart, and he's like looking at us, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll drive the girls in, but I won't drive you guys in." Like after they had helped us all the way for 2 hours to get to the front, we just left them there.
That's incredible.
It was really funny and
Probably
sad.
not too funny for them, but
No,
but
it was,
they probably still got in, right?
I don't know. Maybe they found, I'm sure. But it was funny because you know how the golf carts are laid out that you sit in the back.
Yeah.
So me and my friend like were sitting in the back of the golf cart being driven away, just like watching these two guys get smaller and smaller in the distance. And we're like, bye.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it's funny.
incredible. Yeah, I would probably feel guilty, but at the same time, it's like, yo, I didn't choose this, right?
Exactly. I think I was like 18.
That's incredible. No, no, but going back to the start of the conversation here, did you what was the biggest thing that kind of made you start to feel like, I don't know, like you said the words like ignorant, that you were a little bit ignorant because you didn't realize that there's a whole different world out there, right? Like what happened when you got to California that just kind of like opened up everything?
No, I don't think it was even when I got to California. I think it was when I moved to LA and I started seeing people that looked like me, but also were successful. And they were also using their success to help other people in their community grow. So, for example, like I met Kuko's manager, Kuko being the indie artist, and uh she's like a very successful artist manager, but she also uses her success to help other people like brown students also get break into the music industry. And she talks about all the hardships that she had growing up. And I don't know, one day it just clicked in my head. I was just like, oh, my problem is I grew up with so much privilege and I just didn't realize the privilege that I was living in. And I can help people that look like me. And it just didn't click until that moment. I started seeing people that looked like me doing something for their community.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but I had a guest on and we were just kind of talking about the importance of having a visual example of something that's not what you think is normal. I don't know if I said that right. But basically, like having a black president, having a black CEO, having I don't know, whatever it is, something that's just not white at the end of the day. Because there's too many communities of color where, you know, white people got the money, white people got the power. So you just kind of stay in your lane.
Exactly. And I also think for such a long time, I always asked myself the question, like, why am I not good enough? Like, why do I want to be so white? And it wasn't until I got to LA that I realized I didn't have to be that way. Like, I didn't have to keep asking myself those questions. And again, like you said, it was just because I didn't have visual examples in front of me.
Yeah, that's so funny because it was kind of like the opposite for me. I never really wanted I never even thought of like being white until I started like going my last year of like high school maybe or like college, because then all of a sudden it started to transition, right? I went from having nothing but colored people around me to all of a sudden I'm going into college and then literally it switched. Like it's mostly white people going to college, at least where I was going. And it's just like, huh, there's a whole different world out here and they have money.
Yeah. Wait, where did you go to school?
Well, I mean, I went to Wake Tech for a couple of years. I did Cape Fear Community College for a couple of years, and then I finished up in Charlotte for my last 2 years.
Oh, I see. Very cool. Because you went to the same high school as my sister, right? But I think for me, it's like the reason, like, I'm sure there were colored people at my school, but I was always in cheer. So all my friends were white. And I think that's what
Mm.
created my whole surrounding.
Yeah, I did no extracurricular activities, So I was not exposed. No, actually, yeah, I went to the last 2 years of high school at Wake Forest, Rolesville, which is where I met your sister. Uh, and I was actually kind of in a culture shock there in itself because I saw a lot of white and black students talk to each other and hang out, which was not normal for me. Because when I went to Millbrook High School, literally it was like the black section, the white section, and the Hispanic section, and the small little Asian section, and that was it. Like nobody really like interacted between anybody other than maybe like the blacks and the Latinos. Like that was it.
Really? It's like what is that movie? Uh I don't know, but yeah, I feel like a lot of 90s movies, they always laid out high school that way.
No, that's exactly how it was at Millbrook, and then I remember I had these Adidas, right? My 10th year, yeah, 10th grade. I had this pair of Adidas, right? And I remember this girl try to like crack on me because she was like, "Oh, don't you have those four stripes?" And I'm like, "Fuck that. Like these are real Adidas, right?" And I like show them. I'm like, "Yo, like these are legit Adidas. They're not four stripes, you know, like cuz that's literally everything that we cared about, you know, like yo, is it legit?" And then the next year is when I started Wake Forest Rolesville, and this kid, this black dude had Target, like fake Adidas, Target brand, four stripes. And I remember just thinking like, oh God, this guy's about to get ripped, right?
No.
And sure enough, school starts and people are like complimenting his shoes. They're like, oh, hey, I like your shoes. And I'm like,
Oh.
what the fuck is this? But it's just a completely different culture. Wake Forest had money and a lot of white people.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just the culture is just completely different. I don't know. It's just weird.
Uh, Wait, so you were in high school, you went to two different high schools then, right?
Yep. Half 2 years at Millbrook, 2 years at Wake Forest.
And why did you move? Why did you switch?
My parents were finally able to afford a home, but it had to be out in the boonies because I mean they still don't have a lot of money, so ended up moving to Wake Forest,
Oh, I see.
and
And
that
okay, okay.
was miserable.
Wake Forest, but you had my sister.
Nah, no, that's probably the worst part.
She's so annoying.
Isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Hi, Alma. Just kidding.
Nah, I mean I feel like I've known her for too long, but I feel bad for you because you've known her even longer.
Yeah, we weren't actually that close until I think we got into college. But it's nice. We have a really good relationship where I'm actually planning her baby shower now, which is super weird.
What? I
I
told I
know.
told your sister that I would ask you this. Name one cool thing about your sister, like a cool thing, like something that's like, oh, this is awesome about her.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is cool. I mean, I guess it's cool. She's definitely someone that I can count on, which is nice because I feel like you can't count on too many people nowadays. And every time I call her, I know she's going to answer and I know she's going to give me her honest opinion. She's going to listen, which is really cool. Cool sister vibes. Also, I guess if you want to, yeah, something really cool. If it wasn't for her, I really don't think I would be as worldly as I am. Not saying that I am, but I think I would be more ignorant if it wasn't for her. And two, she introduced me to a lot of good music when I was at a young age, like Ja Rule, Missy Elliott. And if it wasn't for that, then I don't know what I would have been listening to. Kids Bop, maybe.
That would not be cool.
Exactly.
No, yeah, I was calling her a loser earlier today, and I was like, well, I'll ask your sister see if you're cool or not. But I guess those things are
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, she's nice. She's cool. She's smart, which I always appreciated. She's street smart and book smart, which I think is really cool because I can get away with kind of just like talking my way into things. That's why I'm in marketing and I can sell. But if you were to put a test in front of me, I don't know how good I would do.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, fuck tests. Like, that's why I never
Yeah.
went to, like, graduate school or anything like that. Because they're like, oh, if you want to go to this school, you got to take a test. I'm like, fuck that. I just got done taking tests for 8 years. It took me a while to graduate, but still.
What did you
Um,
major in? Finance?
no, I ended up doing economics. was what I
Oh,
ended up
okay.
getting a bachelor's in.
Got
Um,
it.
your sister's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I couldn't have asked for someone better. She's kind of like the glue in the family, I think, because I can barely speak well, I can speak Spanish, but not very well. And then my parents can they can speak English, but not very well. So I can't like we can't communicate to each other. So my sister has to like mediate. It's really funny.
That is funny. So when people
Yeah.
ask you like, where are you from? Do you say you say Mexican American?
Yeah, I mean, I tell them I was born in Mexico, but I came here when I was like 5, so they don't
Right.
have too many like expectations from me.
do,
Like
do you
it's
want you
honest.
are you trying to lower that bar for anything that comes your
Yeah,
way?
yeah, exactly. I'm just like, well, I mean, I would consider me myself mostly American, so don't try to ask me some like geography questions about Mexico because I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to kind of admit the same thing about like the geography. Like I know some key cities, and that's about it, right? And
Yeah,
that's as
same.
far as it goes. But I don't know, like who like I was talking to my buddy Luis, who's also Latino, and I was like, man, too many people take too much pride in like where they're from or whatever, you know, like I don't know. Like I've met people that are Dominican or Chinese or from Scotland or whatever, and they're like take so much pride, and it's like, look, I it's cool, but I think everyone should just kind of relax, right? And he was like, yeah, I mean, if somebody says, oh, Ecuador is a tiny little country that nobody cares about, I mean, who cares? Like that's kind of sort of true.
A little bit, yeah.
What are you importing, or what is Ecuador doing, right? Like, yeah, absolutely, as a country, as a people, they should be proud of whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, it's like, who cares if somebody says that they suck? So if somebody comes up to me and they're like, hey, Mexico sucks, I'm like, all right, that's cool, like, congratulations, you have an opinion.
Yeah, I think some people just really need to attach themselves to something in order to feel like they have an identity. So
mm.
I just think that's it.
Do you attach your identity to Los Angeles now?
Um, mm, Maybe in a sense, maybe I subconsciously do because I refuse to leave LA because I just feel like I belong here. So maybe in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, but you've lived in Los Angeles, Wake Forest, and didn't you guys move to San Diego originally?
Yeah. So I did all of my high school in San Diego. And then when I was 18, I got an internship at Sony Music. So I moved up here for a little while, doing A&R, which is artist and repertoire. Basically, I just was scouting artists and like pitching them to the other A&R people there. And that's when I fell in love with LA. I was just like, this is amazing, man. I want to work in music. So then I decided to move up here and it was never looked back.
Do you ever go to the Bay Area?
No, I only been once because I threw a show there for dubstep.
Nice.
Yeah, why do you go there?
I've been there a couple of times, and I think that's my favorite spot in California. Like San Diego's
Yeah, it's
got
a little
amazing
quiet.
weather, um, but it's like the Republican part of like the cities down there, right?
San Diego, yeah. Like I went to CVS I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, and they were having a Trump rally in the CVS parking lot. And I was
That's
like,
amazing.
why? Yes. I'll send you a picture. I was like, why out of all places here?
And not that I don't like that might have come off wrong, but not that I hate Republicans or anything like that. But when it's like majority Republican, it just gets a little sus. But
Yeah.
no, and then Los Angeles, I don't know. I always tell people that Los Angeles sucks, but I guess you can tell me otherwise.
I mean, it depends what part of LA, because either you're a West Sider, you're an East Sider. And right now, Hollywood's considered, I mean, not right now, but Hollywood is more on the East Side. And there's definitely more like artistic hipsters on this part of town. And
Mm.
on the West Side is where more of the like the tech uh people like to hang out. And it's cleaner. So it just depends on where you like. Do you want more of the city life? on the east side, or do you want something like more beachy and chill and hippie on the west side? So it just depends what you like.
Gotcha. No, I've been to Los Angeles a couple of times. I've been to San Diego maybe two, three times. And I've been to the Bay Area just once, but well, I guess technically twice, but I don't know. The Bay Area just seemed to be like so chill and just I don't know, just had a completely different vibe.
That's interesting because I thought the Bay Area was like kind of crazy because that's where like a lot of crazy rap artists came from and the hype, Ghost
Uh
Ride the Whip. So I
yeah, I
was
mean
like,
if you go to like San Jose, yeah, I can see that.
yeah, well, that's cool. Maybe I'll go back. It's definitely cooler over there, like in terms of the weather.
So, what is Los Angeles like now? Because I keep hearing, I don't know, like I swear every other week, some celebrity or some news or something talking about, oh, California's dead, Los Angeles, everyone's leaving because of the taxes, because of COVID, because of the governor, because of blah blah blah. So, what is it like now?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's definitely, I feel like it's less populated. Like I live right beside Sunset Boulevard, and it's definitely not as chaotic. Also on the Los Feliz area, like they got rid of a lot of homeless people. It just feels empty. And today they got rid of the mask mandate. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe things will change, but I definitely do feel like there's a lot less people. And every restaurant in town has like the help wanted sign.
Oh yeah, the whole shortage of employees.
Yeah.
That's sad though,
Yeah.
because I mean that just means people are making more sitting at home.
Exactly. We're all just stuck inside.
No, it just bothers me hearing all that stuff because I don't know how much of it is true. Because for the longest time, I mean, people kept saying New York City's dead, right? And it's like, dude, it's far from dead.
I need to go. I haven't been as an adult.
Well, I mean, today they literally just had fireworks to mark that the state has hit 70% of at least like one shot. So just about every COVID rule out there has been lifted, just about.
That's awesome.
And no, actually, I knew that the city was pretty much back a couple of weeks ago when me and a couple of friends went out to go do some hookah. It was a long day of drinking, and I'm like, yo, it's midnight. Let's go to K-Town and get some soju. And we're like, all right. And we went, and it was packed
Mm.
out there. And so it's like, all right, things are getting back to normal now.
But were you in that was there still like capacity rules at that time?
There's not capacity rules. So this is where I do agree with a lot of not to get political here, but a lot of conservative pundits that there's a lot of confusion because they lifted a lot of the capacity limits. However, the governor was like, "Hey, but you got to make sure that you can keep distance in there, and there's like protection and blah blah blah." And it's like, wait, how do you do that? Like, how do you have full capacity and also implement people to socially
Yeah,
distant?
what? Makes no sense.
Um, yeah, so that was a little confusing, but a lot of the restaurants basically just put like plastic walls between all the tables,
Oh,
and
gotcha.
they're like, "There you go, there's your protection." It's like, does that really matter? Like, I don't know, whatever.
It's for optics.
No, it really is. It's
Yeah.
complete optics. Because I don't think that little piece of plastic is going to stop anything from circulating and throughout the whole building, right?
Yeah,
Um,
100%. I think with LA, it also looks really empty because there has been capacity limits on everything everywhere. So,
Still,
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about now because today they lifted the mandate, but before, yeah.
mm. Yeah,
So, yeah, it just felt empty.
that's the other thing I kept hearing is that California is just they stuck to those rules for a little too long or too strict or I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder actually, me and my roommate were wondering if we should go out and have a drink to celebrate, but I don't know. Might work out instead.
Or do both.
Yeah, but it's already late and I have to wake up early tomorrow.
Now
So
you're
I
starting
can't
to
drink
sound
like I
like your
used to.
sister.
Oh yeah, my body can't handle things anymore. I need to be responsible.
Oh my goodness. Now you're making
Yeah.
me feel old.
Uh, no, it's just I just started this new job, so I just want to make sure I do a good presentation.
Nah, yeah, I feel yeah. I've been doing my job for a while, so I'm allowed to kind of be late and leave early.
Do you
And
actually have to go in?
nah, that's the other crazy thing is that even though pretty much all restrictions are lifted and everything's kind of getting back to normal, the one part in this city that has not gotten to normal at all is the office buildings. They are still, I'm giving you a rough estimate here, but like 75% empty. And
Really?
and so all of the businesses around the offices are either shut down or about to shut down because they are struggling. Because
Are they telling you when you have to go back in, or are you work from home permanently?
they haven't told us shit.
That's insane. That probably means the same thing will happen here because I'm kind of dreading, like, I don't want to go back into the office.
Yeah, I want to go back into the office, but not 5 days a week. I
Yeah,
think
no,
2 or 3 for me would be ideal because I don't know, my job is pretty easy, so I can knock stuff out in 2 3 days, and then I mean honestly, just stay at home the other days and kind of do other shit.
that's amazing. You're living the life.
No, I am beyond lucky. Now let's just hope my boss doesn't listen to this,
Eh,
but
does he know
but
you have a podcast?
no, I don't tell him about that. I also have to
Um,
be careful, right? Because if you tell people that work too much shit, man, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't say that. You can't whatever," and then I'll get in trouble, and then I'll get fired.
totally. And you've been there for like 6 years, right? A long time.
Well, at this current role, only 2 years, but with the company itself, I mean, yeah, not consecutively, but yeah, about 8 years. No, 5, 6, 7 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a long
So
time.
yeah, no, I mean, I like I said, I'm lucky. I got it good. Um, that's why it's like I don't know. Like people have to acknowledge how lucky they are when they are in that good situation. Um,
Totally.
because I'll bitch all day about everything, but at the end of the day, I'm smiling. I have no stress. You know, I joke around that I'm mad all the time, but I'm not. Like I'm living in heaven.
Blessed, never stressed. Like the song.
So now that everything is opening up in Los Angeles, is anything going to change for you?
Well, I do want to start going to concerts again, but more mindfully. So, like, definitely not drinking as much and just being careful. And probably release parties for music is going to happen again. So, I'd love to do that. I can probably take out clients out for lunch again and dinners.
For concerts, I actually have not throughout my life for whatever reason. I was brainwashed into thinking that, not that drugs are good or anything like that, but I was brainwashed into thinking that like all drugs are like super bad and stuff like festivals and concerts. I mean, they're just riddled with them, and it just never seemed appealing to me. And then maybe a couple years ago, I finally went to like a what was it, governor's
Governor's
ball,
Ball. Yeah.
and it was amazing. It was a
Oh, yeah.
blast. I had, I think, my first gummies ever at that thing. Uh, no, and it was a blast. I'm like, wait a minute, I've been missing out like my entire fucking life.
Wait, you just went when? Like a year ago, you said?
It was
No,
like
two, must have been 2 years.
2 3 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, you've been missing out for a while.
No, yeah. So this year we're gonna go to Lollapalooza, all like 4 days, I think.
Nice. In Chicago, right?
Yep.
That's
So I'm
dope.
looking forward to that. And I'm the opposite of you. I will not be watching anything. Like I will not be taking it easy.
Yeah. Well, good. You've been missing out for a long time. I feel, I guess, in a sense, burnt out because I've been to 10 Coachellas. So I've done
That's
this for
insane.
so yes, I think it's insane too. I had to like double check myself. I'm like, there's no way. But yeah, I've been to 10 straight. And I've been to plenty more raves and concerts on top of that. So I'm kind of just at the point where I'm kind of like, I've been there, done that, and I just want to focus on other stuff. But no, you should 100% go full send on everything.
No, yeah. And I mean, out of like all my friends, for whatever reason, I'm the only one that I don't want to say I'm not getting older because I certainly am. But I still have the energy to like just go 1,000% every day. Uh,
That's awesome.
no, it gets me in trouble, uh, but hey, why not? I mean, shit.
Yeah, one day you won't. So I'm jealous. Like I definitely feel it in my body that I don't have it like I used to.
Yeah, every now and then I'll wake up and I'm like, damn, I'm fucking tired. Like, is this what it means to fucking get old?
Yeah.
So what's Coachella like? Because I don't know if I'll
Uh,
ever get to make it out there.
what? You have to. I don't know why you wouldn't.
All
It's
right.
expensive, I'll tell you that,
I'll
because
dress up
tickets
as a
are.
girl so then I get picked up in a golf cart.
Oh my God, yes, you should. I did that. I snuck in maybe like 4 times, so 4 years. One time I had a fake Coachella bracelet and it worked. I glued it on with gum.
Are you kidding me?
I swear on my life.
That's
Super
in,
weird.
that's incredible.
There was this one time when again we were sneaking in through the barns. We get to the campgrounds and we get to the front of the line because the way that Coachella is set up is that you can either enter through the parking lot when you park your car, but you need to show your wristband, or you can go in through the campground, and it's easier to sneak into the campground. So I was in line to get into the actual festival, and I don't have a wristband obviously, but I already made it this far, and these two British girls come out of the festival, one's throwing up and the other one's like freaking out because her friend's sick. And they're British and they're just like freaking out. And my drunk butt goes up to her and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need water? So I gave her water and they were thankful. And they're like, we're just going to go home. Like, do you want our wristbands? And me and my friend look at each other. We're like, yes, like 100%. And they straight up give us these wristbands for free. I'm not kidding. This is a true story. And we got to use their wristbands for 2 days.
Holy shit, that's some really
I
good
know.
luck for you
Seriously.
and some shitty luck for them.
Yeah. I still can't believe that happened, but we got really lucky and saw Empire of the Sun.
So what is it like in there? Is it how many stages are there? How long does it normally last? Like
It goes from noon to midnight. So it's 12 hours. But afterwards, there's usually a party in the campgrounds where they have like parties with like everybody in their tents. And then they also have this thing called silent disco, which I'm sure you've witnessed and
yeah,
been a part
wait.
of. Yeah.
So there's no well, I guess everyone either has to drive in or camps there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Or you have your hotel like away from the festival that you can stay at, or you can camp, which is good when you're younger, but it hurts your back and you have to like shower in these like trailers basically.
No, because I'm trying to imagine basically living at the concert.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what you do. You if you camp, you come in Thursday and basically everybody has like a party. Like Thursday you start partying, Friday you go to the festival, Saturday, Sunday, same thing, and you're just living there. And you can go take naps in between sets if you want to. That's the beauty about camping. Or you can go get more alcohol and you don't have to pay the crazy beer fees inside.
But how close
So,
are the tents and everything from the actual stages?
I mean, it's a bit of a walk, but like
Okay.
it's not like undoable. Like you're not gonna walk for an hour unless you're like lost.
Yeah, because in my head, I'm starting to think like, okay, it's a 20-minute walk to your tent. It's like you're literally living inside the concert.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you have your actual festival and then you have to walk out to the campground area. So it's not like
Okay,
right next to
okay.
each other. It's still kind of separate, but it's really close. And they have everything there. It's like a little town. Like they have showers, bathrooms, VIP showers if you want to like pay for it, which I highly recommend. You have like not like restaurants, but like you can buy food. They have yoga. Like they do a really good job at setting it up and making you feel like at home ish as best as you can.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Did you ever stay out in the campgrounds?
Yes, I did twice. And it was fun.
Is your back
Once with
okay?
yeah, my back's good now, but I'll never forget those winds. And then one time I forgot to take my allergy medicine and it is dusty in Coachella. And I woke up after like a drunk nap and my friend's like, "Oh my God, your eyes are swollen." So I had to go get ice because the allergies got to me and I looked like Will Smith in that Hitch movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was gross.
That's
So
scary to
make sure
think
to bring your
about.
allergy medicine. Yeah.
And I'm guessing the weather is just amazing, right? Just sunny and hot.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it can get really windy. At night, it's kind of cold, but you can get away with just like a sweater. And I have been at Coachella where it has rained, like drizzled, and because you're on grass, it does get muddy and pretty nasty.
Mm. Yeah, but at that point, I mean, ideally, you're not 100% sober and you're just
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
jamming out in the mud, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Damn.
One time I was at a rave and this guy, this little kid, well, he was, I don't know, he's probably like 14, and he had taken too much acid and he was rolling around in the mud. And we nicknamed him Mud Boy. And he was like all over the internet. It was really funny.
Jesus, 14 and already doing too much acid.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I do need to make it out there then.
Definitely do. It's worth it. They have a Ferris wheel. I think they have like 7 stages and they're all named after certain deserts, which is nice. And yeah, it's a fun experience and it's really well um, planned out. So you'll have a good time.
Was there a performance that was like stood out that you're like, shit, I'll never forget that one?
It's definitely Kendrick Lamar when he performed
Mm.
his Damn album. I can't remember what year that was, maybe 2015. That was super dope. And then I'll never forget, I think it was the last Coachella I went to, it was J Balvin and I think Bad Bunny came out. And it was just like a massive party. Everyone was just like jumping and like happy. Little did we know the next year the world was gonna shut down. But yeah, that was epic.
Yeah, I would
Maybe
have.
also Mac DeMarco. I don't know if you know indie music, but Mac DeMarco is cool.
I don't. I'm actually awful with music. It's pretty embarrassing actually. It's
Really? What kind of music do you listen to?
no, I listen to everything, but I don't remember like the artist or the names or I don't know. Like today, I went archery shooting and they were jamming out to like some like older like 90s 2000s like pop or whatever music it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this one. And people are like, oh, what is it called? I'm like, I have no fucking clue. Couldn't tell you.
No. But
But
do you have like a favorite artist or something?
um, yeah, I mean anything or pretty much anything like Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, Jay Z, Eminem, and then for like not rap music, the Revivalists are really cool. Uh, Black Pumas, I think, is what they're called. Yeah, I know like a handful of them, and that's like about it. And if you start to tell me
Okay.
like, "Hey, name the songs," I'm just like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good."
No, I feel you. It's a lot to remember. But the Revivalist, that's like indie rock, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I guess. It sounds like
Yeah, you
rock.
wouldn't know.
It sounds like rock. I don't know. No, it's just
Okay.
I don't know why. I just for whatever reason, stuff like that, I just can't. I can't remember anything. So just music in general. I love music, and I every time I meet people that play an instrument or whatever, I'm just like in awe of them because I just cannot do it.
Yeah, no, same. So much respect. I wish I could play the piano.
Yeah, I tried to play the piano once, and then I just told myself that my fingers are too short. Like they're not long enough to reach all the
What?
keys. But then people are like, no, you don't need long fingers. I'm like, well, that's my excuse, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the
But
guitar.
I would think you would need long, like that would definitely give you an advantage if you have long fingers, right? Because you can reach the keys easier.
Yeah, I mean, I assume so.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Huh.
nah, I'm just, my mental capacity for music is at zero, and I just live with it.
Yeah, that's all right. We all have our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. Alex. I'm calling you Alex.
Yeah, not Naomi.
That's yeah. No, I'm just that's so crazy. That's so crazy that like literally part of my my last the bit that I'm doing now at my stand up is uh I talk about like rednecks trying to like ask me something, and instead of them calling me Pablo, they're like Pueblo.
Oh my God. Yes, that's literally like what I went through.
Yeah, and it's just like just you hearing that, like connecting like reality versus kind of like, you know, what people say or jokes or whatever, right? Like just getting that connection is just like, I don't know, just different, unique for me. Because
Yeah,
it's always one
100%.
thing to say, oh yeah, you know, this in the South X, Y, and Z, you know, but then when you hear a real story, like, oh yeah, I literally changed my name because I was just tired of that shit. Uh, that's a whole different level.
Yeah, I know. I guess I didn't really understand what I was dealing with until later in life. Like I just decided to change the name to Alex, but I didn't realize that I really did have like an emotional uh like response to what had happened in North Carolina and people butchering my name for so long until like I got to college and I was like, oh, like I actually got really upset.
Yeah, do you know anything about Malcolm X?
Yeah. I mean, I watched this movie with Denzel Washington, and I mean, yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie. I need to watch it though. No, but like literally, you know, not to like end on the sour note here, but he was just kind of like, yo, like all these black people got these last names handed to them from white people just to kind of erase our history. And so he was just like, fuck that. I don't want to be called that anymore, right? And so eventually he like earned his X, which is basically saying
Mm.
um when he dies, God himself will show him his true name. And so yeah, it's I don't know. Again, I don't want to
No,
get
that
into
is
it,
interesting.
but yeah, it's who you are, and people were calling you the wrong thing, and I don't know. Not it's not the same as someone stealing your name or your family name or whatever, but it still has that identity issue.
Exactly. And then, obviously people would probably think, probably have never told it to my face and are like, well, why don't you just go by Naomi now? Like, that's who you are. That's where you came from. But then I'm like, is that really who I am? Like, I don't identify with that name anymore. Even if I wanted to reclaim it, I guess, and go by it. Like, I've been called Alex for so long and lived my life as Alex and built my life around it that if I decided to go, hey, I'm gonna be Nayeli now and like reclaim my name, like it just doesn't feel like me. So if somebody wanted to talk trash and be like, oh, look at this girl like trying to make herself be more white by going by Alex and making it more, easy for everybody, I'd be like, well, you know what? F you. Like, if you want to think that, fine. But I just identify with Alex. Like, that's who I am.
That's so funny because okay, so I've met a lot of I've met a lot of Chinese people here, and a lot of them, 99% of them go by their English name. Uh, and I remember one time, well, I always try to like, it sounds terrible, but I always ask them like, well, that's probably your slave name. Like, what's your real name? And then they'll tell me, and then only once has someone told me, no, don't call me by my real name because it's a little too difficult. I actually prefer my English name. Like, please call me my English name. And it's like, all right, like I get it. Like, if that's who you identify as, then there's nothing wrong with that, right? But yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird.
It is. It's a weird complex to think about it, but I think it also doesn't need to be that hard, right? Like people, like you said, when people get too patriotic, it's like it doesn't need to be that crazy. Names
Yeah.
don't need to be that crazy. Like I go by Alex, that's who I am. If you have a problem with it, like bye, that's
Would you
it.
get mad if someone's like, "I'm just gonna call you Nayeli"?
Oh my God. I get that all the time. I don't know why new guys that I start talking to, they always think it's cute to call me Nayeli. And they're like, no, I'm going to call you Nayeli. Like they want to be special. And I'm like, first of all, you're not the first guy to try to pull that on me. Second of all, like I'm telling you what my name is. It's Alex. And third of all, like you're not even respecting what I want. So kind of a red flag there.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. No,
Yeah.
well, so yeah, I mean, the only time, like I said, I try to be respectful, and if somebody says, my name is like, you know, like I said, it's mostly Chinese here, but it's like, oh, my real name's like Ming or whatever. Then I'm like, all right, cool. Well, then I'll call you Ming. But if they say, hey, don't call me Ming, then I'll be like, all right, then I won't call you Ming then, right? Like you tell me, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, but I also am curious to know what your official, real given name is, right? Because people do that just to make their life easier here, and I get that. But it's also kind of sad that, I mean, people tell me, I meet people from Europe, Asia, South America here, Africa, and they're all like, yeah, Americans are just dumb. And they're too stupid to like pronounce names and like blah blah blah. And so then that's why I feel bad when people are like, I'll meet someone who's clearly not American, and they're like, oh yeah, my name is Bob, and it's like, is it though? Is it?
Bob, out of all names to choose from.
Yeah, it's like, so then I'm like, well, what is your name, right? And they'll tell me, and I'll be like, I'll try to pronounce it, and then they're like, nah, see, yeah, it's okay, just call me Bob. And it's like, all right, but if like I work with a guy, and his name is, from my understanding, Vinay, but it's spelled Vinay. And so I asked him once, I was like, hey, it's Vinay, right? And he goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But then literally everybody else at work calls him Vinay.
Oh gosh.
But for him, it doesn't bother him, right? It's just like, all right, it is what it is, right? Just say whatever. I know what you mean. But I don't know. Like, are the people wrong, or is he wrong for not standing up, or does it even matter at the end of the day? I don't know.
I think that's what it is. It only matters if you make, or if the person whose name you're talking about matters to them. If he doesn't care, then it doesn't matter. But if he does, then yeah, well then probably should rethink things.
Well, I'll call you Alex if that's okay.
Yeah, I reserve Nayeli to like my family members who have obviously always said it correct from birth.
could you imagine if they're like still mispronouncing your name?
Oh my God, I'd be so pissed. I'd be
Like,
like, what
why
are you
did
even
you even
doing?
make me?
Exactly. And
That's
then,
okay.
yeah, if any of them were to call me Alex, I'd freak out. I'd be like, what?
That's funny.
So it's weird, right? Because I identify as Nayeli with them, but I don't identify as Alex. So it's
It's
weird.
all it's about the surrounding and the community and like what triggers what, right? It's such a complex thing.
Yeah, it's like your environment.
Damn. Anyways, Alex, I really, really appreciate you making the time because I know you're a busy human being.
Yeah, of course. This was nice. I mean, I don't think I've ever talked to you even IRL as long as this. So
I know,
this has
right?
been cool. Yeah, like even when we were like when you were in high school, I was in middle school. I don't think I've ever talked to you this long.
You were too busy being cool.
I was cool. I was definitely. I've always liked to go out.
Yeah. Those were, yeah, I do miss the younger days when you can kind of like get away with stuff, but now I'll get thrown in jail and that's not fun.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But a lot of learnings along the way, and I feel like I lived my life to the fullest. So no regrets.
That's what's important. And if that's how
Yeah,
you feel, then you're doing life right.
100%. Like that's why I feel so okay with just staying home and like focusing on my career, because if somebody were to try to entice me with going out or doing something, I'd be like, yeah, I already did that. Thanks so.
Yeah, but you want to go out and grab a beer.
Yeah, I do. That's true.
That's never gonna go away. It's just yeah.
100%.
No, I actually
But am
got
I gonna do it? Nah.
yeah. I mean, you got to know when the right time is, and when
Exactly. But I think I will go get a bottle of wine and just drink here while I finish my deck.
do it, do it. Fully encourage that.
Yes. What are you gonna do?
I am gonna watch a little bit of basketball. I think there's a. I know the Brooklyn Nets. I think just won. I don't know. It's almost midnight over here, so there's.
Oh shit.
I'll be responsible and not go out because I
Yeah,
do have
what?
to work
Who
tomorrow.
goes out at midnight on a Tuesday?
Before the pandemic, me.
Oh my God. No, like you're serious. Like all
Yeah,
jokes
like
aside.
there were so many nights, and Anita, she came on the podcast a little bit a whiles ago, but me and her here in New York City, we would just random nights, Tuesday, Mondays, Wednesday, be like, yo, what are you doing? Be like, man, I'm trying to sleep. And they're like, nah, come meet me at the bar. And I'm like, shit, all right, let's go. And yeah, I mean, could go to bed at like 4:35 and then get up and go to work.
No. Oh my God. You're crazy. I don't think I've done that since college, but I had no work to go to.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, out of all of my friends, I'm still the one who still has the maybe the stupidity and the energy to do stuff like that.
But hey, you're not married, right? Like, why not? Live it up while you can.
I'm not married, but I got 15 kids. I'm not feeding them. I'm not bathing them, clothing them. They're not my responsibility.
Oh God.
That's the woman's responsibility.
Oh Jesus. I'm sure my sister would love that.
Oh man, I tell your sister to come on the podcast. I would love for her to come on.
Yeah, why hasn't she?
I don't know. She's probably afraid she'll say something stupid, but
I mean, I've said so many dumb things this past hour. It's fine.
no, yeah, I was gonna say like who doesn't say stupid shit, but
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. Plus, who cares?
I know. It should be recorded so like her baby knows how she was before she was a.
That's a really good way to plug in the idea. Yeah, I like that.
But she's stubborn, so. Anyways, again, thank you, and I will talk to you later. Stay safe in Los Angeles.
Thanks. Visit me if you want. You always have a place here, and we can go to concerts together.
Yeah, show me that Los Angeles doesn't suck, because in my head it still sucks.
Okay. Well, just follow you. You follow me on Instagram. Just watch my IG stories, and I'll show you what's up.
Yeah, going to bed at early night.
Shut up. This weekend we'll be sick. Oh no, it's Father's Day weekend. Okay, July 4th. Make
Oh
sure to
man, look
watch.
at that! Look at that.
Yeah.
Anyways, you have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.